Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Blind Boys Politics. And as it's become tradition here at the beginning of the show, we'll have Chris read the weather.
Los Angeles is sunny and 79. Houston, Texas, partly cloudy 71. Chicago, Illinois, cloudy 31. New York City, partly cloudy 46.
So partly cloudy across the board. Well, sunny in Los Angeles, but
And then poor Chicago is just all cloudy and freezing.
is there
Chicago.
anything different in Chicago? Every time we've done this so far, I feel like it's just been cold, dreary, snow.
Yeah, snow more than anything. And then you got freaking Los Angeles over here like, la-di-da, it's January and it's 80 degrees.
And perfectly sunny, like not a cloud in the sky.
We see you, Los Angeles. Oh, we see you.
How dare you?
God.
While we're up here in New York, just like, can this end?
Freezing.
Please. Winter, even this year, with it being a pretty warm. Wow, my voice is cracking. We're off to a hot start, guys. But as I was saying, even though it's been relatively warm compared to how it usually is in the middle of January here in New York, even now it's still like, it's cold. Get it away.
I agree. I'm ready for summer.
Yeah, or at least spring. I need spring to come back just to allow me to
need summer.
See, I can live with spring because for summer, the transition from winter into spring, I do believe is when I'm most sane. But
can I say something?
What?
I have a problem with spring because that means I'm still in school.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. You make a valid point there.
So just let it be summer.
Yeah.
Let it be deep, let it be summer.
God, I miss summer.
But Nick, I have a question for you. How are you doing?
Lucky to be alive. I fell asleep on you on Friday and lived to tell the tale.
Yes. It's okay because I fall asleep on you a lot of the times lately. I don't know why. But you just don't know I fall asleep, so...
There you go. I mean, I assume it a lot of the time, but yeah. No,
not only because you know what time I usually put my phone on the charger and go to bed.
Yeah.
But there's been times that in the middle of the day, the sun is just baking into the room, and I'll just doze off for like 10 minutes. I don't know why, but that's been happening to me a lot. I don't know if it's just because I'm not getting enough sleep.
Right.
And they're like my little 10-minute power naps, or what it is, because I'll fall asleep and I'll wake up and all of a sudden there's just this blanket on top of me. And I'll wake up and I'll just get up and act like nothing ever happened. And then my dad will go, "How was the nap?"
Love that. No, but adding on to how I am though, doing surprisingly well because Chris, if you remember here on the show at the beginning, like right at New Year's, when we were stating our resolutions, I did say that I was going to try to just better myself as a whole, especially in the health department. And that started this week. And that means a huge, huge change in diet. I mean, not huge, but definitely a change for me overall. And I haven't broken any windows or walls or anything just yet, so I consider that a win.
Since we're stating how we're doing on our New Year's resolutions, I'm doing pretty good because mine was to become a more better cook, better baker. So I bought a few new baking stuff and I used it Friday. So I did the exact opposite of Nick. I did not eat healthy. I made banana bread, one with chocolate chips and one with walnuts. And you might be thinking that's pretty simple, but the thing is I made mini loaves.
Wow.
So they're like a totally different beast to make. They were delicious.
I'd say you should have shared, but I guess that's revenge for me not making you a cocoa jar for Christmas.
Okay, there you go. And on the Department of Saving More Money, I would say that I haven't saved any more money, but I haven't saved any less money.
Mm. One
Because
thing
I think it all equals out because I've canceled a lot of subscriptions that I don't use, and a lot of them I've upgraded them to save like $20 a year, which $20 is $20, and I just pay the year. But then I also, all that money that I saved, I just bought a bunch of baking stuff. So
you're breaking even.
yeah, next month will be better because next month I don't have to buy anything.
Right. One thing I will say though, Chris, is like, when you were talking about New Year's resolutions, you talked about getting on more of a routine as well.
That's not going well at all right now.
I will say though, you inspired me a little bit because ever since then I've been waking up pretty much at the same time every day, except for the weekend. Um, Saturday mornings and Sunday morning here today, I did not wake up at my usual time of 8 o'clock. I completely fell off on that note there, but during the
So
week, hmm,
are you saying that you've gotten my sleep routine and I've gotten yours?
evidently.
Because this past week, it's been all over the freaking place. Like, it's been not a terrible sleep schedule because I'm waking up generally around the same time.
Hmm.
But the time that I go to bed, one night I went to bed before 8 o'clock.
Oh, dear
Another
God.
one, it was after midnight. Another time, it was around 10 o'clock, which is the normal ish time.
Hmm.
But, before 8 o'clock, after midnight, mm, that's not normal for me.
No, no, it's not. But like, yeah, as far as waking up, and even going to sleep a little bit too. Again, except for the weekend. During the week, I've actually been pretty good about waking up at the same time for the past like 2 weeks now. So thank you, Chris, for your
La-di-da for
inspiration.
you. Oh, you're so welcome, Nick. I'm hoping my sleep schedule will get back on track now because I'm a little bit more organized.
Hmm.
And when I'm not organized, my life kind of falls apart.
Yeah, yeah,
So
I've seen
my
that.
office is completely like redone. Like I can actually put something down on the desk without it either falling off of the desk or never seeing it again. Because I have notes all over the place for school.
Hmm.
I have notes all over the place for news. Like
Right.
I have sticky notes everywhere. I did. Now they're all taken care of. Like everything is like I can see my desk now. I forgot what the
That's a
bottom of
miracle.
it looked like.
Yeah.
There for a while, I forgot about what the top upstairs desk looks like because I'm fancy like that, and I need two offices, one in the basement and one upstairs.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we talked about that in another intro.
Well, with all that being said, with us catching up on our New Year's resolutions, Nick, how about we do that like maybe once a month to see how we're doing?
Yeah, I'd say that's a good idea. Um, we'll figure it
But
out. But
but um, let's move into some news. And right off the bat, we got a COVID-19 update for you. 30,000 people have died in the first 10 days of 2020. 100,000 more expected to die before the end of February.
in Los Angeles, 1 out of every 3 people is believed to be positive, and 4 out of 5 emergency calls right now in Los Angeles have to do with COVID-19.
Only 27.3% of California's supply for the COVID-19 vaccine has been administered. New York, their vaccine scheduling is booked through the end of March. And 965,000 Americans filed for unemployment in the first 2 weeks of January.
So that's all with the direct COVID update. Now, Chris, we get into a topic that's been um, kind of a staple. I have to say at this point for this show because it just appears so often because there was so much about it. But now we take a bit of a shift, and the topic I'm talking about is the stimulus and what's going on with that. And there's a bit of an interesting future, a possible future anyway, as far as the stimulus goes.
Yeah, really emphasize on that because it is just a proposal. If you don't know what we're talking about, President-elect Joe Biden, Thursday evening, he laid out his COVID-19 proposal, and here are the highlights from his speech.
We'll also do everything we can to keep our educators and students safe, to safely reopen a majority of our K through 8 schools by the end of the first 100 days. The correct course and meet our goal of 100 million shots at the end of my first 100 days as president. And those who need to take care of their family members with COVID-19 symptoms should be able to stay home from work and still get paid. There will be a $400 per week supplement so people can make ends meet. This gets money quickly into the pockets of millions of Americans who will spend it immediately on food and rent and other basic needs. We need about $400 billion in funding from Congress to make all of what I just said happen.
So that was only part of his speech. So we have more of the details here, and we'll break it down for you right now. So it's called the American Rescue Plan. Mind you, as we said before, it's just a proposal at the moment. It is not a done deal. Everything is subject to change, and we won't know anything for sure until a deal is complete within the House and the Senate.
So here's a breakdown of what President-elect Joe Biden's proposal is. It's $1,400 stimulus checks to all qualifying Americans. Some adult dependents and mixed racial families will qualify, along with $400 federal unemployment instead of the current $300. Enhanced PUA and PEUC programs through December of 2021.
Next is to extend the federal eviction moratorium until September. Then to create a $15 billion grant program for small businesses. This is outside the Paycheck Protection Program. $350 billion for state and local governments. Increasing the national minimum wage to $15. Currently, it is $7.25.
The president-elect's plan will be officially introduced to Congress this week. Democrats who control the House, Senate, and the White House say COVID relief is the top priority currently, but there is also several other issues that they need to deal with right now, including confirming President-elect Joe Biden's cabinet members and the impeachment trials. In total, this is a $1.9 trillion proposal.
Now, alongside the stimulus plan that President-elect Joe Biden has and has come up with, he has also come up with a COVID-19 vaccine rollout plan. He stated recently that he wants to distribute 100 million doses of the vaccine within his first 100 days in office. Another part of the plan is to issue an executive order that would mandate masks in all places that he has authority. So this would be all federal properties across the country, interstate travel companies, trains, airlines.
President-elect Joe Biden says he will invoke the National Defense Production Act. This will speed up the manufacturing of materials needed to administer the vaccine. He also plans to deploy FEMA and the National Guard to build the vaccine clinics across America, along with public information campaigns on your TVs, radios, and social medias in the form of commercials. In quote, he says he needs to rebuild the trust in the vaccine. He says he's going to elevate the head of Office of Science and Technology to a cabinet member position.
So, what is the cost of all this, you might be wondering? Well, at this time, President-elect Joe Biden has set aside $20 billion in the stimulus package for this to be put into place. But that's all we have on that.
In 2 days, believe it or not, the inauguration for Joe Biden will be happening. And with that being said, there's a lot that's going on in this inauguration. It's not as simple as you might think. January 20th is the inauguration day as laid out in the Constitution. Due to COVID and more violence that could possibly happen, this inauguration is going to look different from past inaugurations.
Right. So, because of the attack on the Capitol, Washington, D.C. is currently on lockdown. There have been fences put up. 20,000 National Guard troops are in the city, as well as Secret Service, FBI, and law enforcement officers. And the mayor of Washington, D.C. also issued a public emergency until the 21st. She is also asking inauguration spectators to stay home. And Joe Biden's inaugural committee is also telling people not to come. This is, of course, in fear of COVID-19 infecting a lot of people there and making the event turn into a super spreader.
Some things will remain the same. It will be televised on most major networks. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris will take the oath of office outside of the western steps of the Capitol. The Supreme Court Chief Justice John Roberts will administer the oath of office, and former Presidents Clinton, Bush, and Obama will be attending. Jimmy Carter will not be attending. In a statement, he said he sent his, quote, best wishes and is looking forward to Biden's successful administration, end quote.
President Trump has also confirmed that he will not be attending the inauguration. He will be leaving before noon on Wednesday. And this is the first time in 150 years that a president who is leaving office will not be attending the inauguration of the new president.
It is worth noting that Vice President Mike Pence will be attending the inauguration. That's it for inauguration news for right now. We will be talking about it Friday morning because inauguration's Wednesday. We'll be back Friday morning, and I bet you inauguration is going to be one of the main topics this week. So we'll sure to catch you up on all inauguration news Friday morning.
I'd probably guarantee that it'll be one of the main subjects. But for now, we get into something that we've talked about a little bit on the show and in prior episodes, something that's been coming up a little more often as of late, and that's taxes. So in specifics, taxes are going to be a little delayed this year. You'll have to wait a little longer before you can start filing. The IRS has announced that you'll have to wait until February 12th to start filing your taxes. Normally, you can start filing at the end of January, but the IRS needs a few more weeks this year to test out some new systems.
Along with this, they said it will also give time for taxpayers to get their $600 stimulus. The IRS is urging you to file electronically. As always, if you are one of the 90% that do file, you can expect your tax returns in 21 days or less after you file. The IRS is reminding people that make less than $72,000 a year can use the free File Tax Partner service to complete their online returns. If you qualify and want to take advantage of this, go to irs.gov and search File Taxes for free.
If you qualify and didn't receive your stimulus payment, or you did receive your payment at an incorrect amount, make sure you claim your recovery rebate credit. The deadline for that is April 15th.
That is all we have for this Monday morning. Nick, are you ready to get into some rapid news?
I am always ready to get into some rapid news, and why don't I start us off this time around? Um, Lady Gaga will be performing at President-elect Joe Biden's inauguration.
More than 100 people that were involved in the Capitol riots Wednesday the 6th have been arrested.
And that is it. So now,
Nick, please tell me some good news.
all right,
Please.
all right, I have some
I
good
need
news for
some
you,
good
Chris.
news.
I have some good news for you, Chris.
Make me more cheerful on this Monday.
So this time around, we have another food-related story like last time.
Food! Is it because you're on a diet and you were thinking about food?
You know, that may be what it looks like, but it was purely coincidental, I promise. But for this story, we go to a college student who, when the pandemic started, he was going to have a dinner party with some of his friends, but with the threat of shutdowns looming, he canceled it, and he still managed to like give food to his friends, but they didn't have like a get together or anything. But with that kind of in his head, he started just like making pizzas from home because he had worked for like food trucks and stuff. He had actually had his own like mini company um, that had like he ran like two different food trucks essentially. So he knew how to cook a little bit at least. So he started making pizzas from home and he just started selling them after a while. And he would deliver them because he lived on a second floor apartment. So he'd deliver them through a pulley system and they would go down in paper bags down to people down below. So he started getting paid for making these pizzas, and he decided that he didn't want to keep any of the money. So he started donating it to charities like food insecurity and homelessness in Philadelphia. He started donating to those causes, and he's been doing it ever since. And his organization has, well, not even, it's just him pretty much at this point. Um, he has raised $30,000 as of
Holy
around,
crap.
yeah, as of around Christmas. He's raised $30,000 just from baking pizzas.
You know, it's always interesting to see how these great things get started, and it's as simple as that. A dinner party that got canceled and raised $30,000.
Yeah, it really is crazy because, like, you know, and it seems like a lot of these things are coming out of uh, being forced to be at home because of COVID-19. We saw the Baker group from Friday's episode, and now we have this college student who is like, well, I can bake pizzas and I want to help these different causes. And sure enough, it just kind of blew up, and now he's making a ton of money to give to these different causes.
That's a really good news story, Nick. I like that one. You know, 2 weeks in a row of food, but that's okay because that's good. You're doing really good at finding these good news stories. I do have to give you that. A lot better than some of the ones that I've found. But with that being said, if you have a news story that you want us to cover, make sure you DM us on Twitter. We'll make sure to talk about it Friday morning. But until then, make sure you read our article on Medium that is released tomorrow morning. But until Wednesday morning with a dumb law, see you guys. Make sure you follow us on all social medias down in the show notes down below.
See you guys.